Hey there people, this is Kun Harrison channel. We're here for more Command & Conquer General Zero Hour modding. This is lesson 1. If you haven't gone through lesson 0 and may not be familiar with anything I'm going to talk about in this video, then go refer to that video, which is going to be linked here also, or can be part of the playlist it's part on. Anyway, our first lesson is making your first unit. So whenever you're making a unit for Command & Conquer Generals, I think one of the first things you really want to come up is a concept. I guess like most basic concept really is just that you come up with a I want to make a tank. That's one more simpler concept. So when you make a tank, you base it off a tank. There's a lot of examples of that in the game. One key factor thing you have to be mindful of when making units or making concepts in your mod is that is there already a counterpart in the game that can replicate your vision? And in our case, this is pretty simple. Let's make a new tank. Let's make a new vehicle. And I have the model here right now. I made this model in Gmax, and you have to import it, importantly, in the W3D format. You can use any other program that can output W3D format, but remember, W3D stands for Westwood 3D. I'm currently using Gmax right now as my modeling program, and this is a very old program. This is a branch of I'd say like it was 3ds Max, a very old branch way back at the early 2000s. I made this model in, and basically, it has on top of the Renegade X plugin, I can put things into like I can import these things into W3Ds, like what you see here. So right now this model is fully fledged. There is a couple of things you have to keep in mind with your 3D model. Whenever and this will vary from unit to unit what you require for it. But basic gist is that okay, so we're making a tank. What do we need to make a tank? Well, obviously, we need the turret, right? This turret right here. And there's some specific things you have to do in your model to do so. So we're here in 3ds. We're here in Gmax, and this is the model without its textures. So first we need to define the turret. Turret sub-object, and this is basically, it tells when you define a turret sub-object, and when we do code this unit in, we will assign turret to turret 01, and this will be the turret. This will be the turret. And then since I want this unit to have an anti-air function, so I would have this turret L sub-object, and basically what it does, it just it moves up and down like this. It moves up and down like this. It makes it aim up. So this is the anti-air guns on its side. But yeah, other important things is that the weapon bones. These really tiny bones right here, you can actually just right now I have them as solid objects, but when you import them, you can make them as you don't include these in the actual model. Well, there's a setting you can when you import when you export these into W3D, in that they still exist, but they're not part of the model per se. These are your weapon bones. This is where where you indicate the weapon comes out of. This is the barrel. This is the end of the barrel, and this is where the shots come out of. And if you look at the sub-object name, weapon A, so long as you weapon A, you can actually also have it as a different sub-object name, but preferably what I would do is just weapon A for primary weapons, weapon B for secondary weapons, weapon C for tertiary weapons. It's only you can only have 3 weapons per object. But yeah, you notice it has a 0-1 on it because there's three guns, so like 1, 2, and 3 here. Also barrel 1, 2, and 3. This is really just for the animation where the guns recoil from the weapon. In any case, and I have the anti-air guns here on a different thing. This is going to be weapon B 01 to differentiate it from the primary weapons. This is weapon 02, so it's weapon B02. So like, these are 2 different weapon systems. Another important note is house colors. These red bits is going to be where the player colors will come in. Make sure. Another thing before you're importing is to press H to look at the sub-object names. Make sure you don't have any duplicates. Otherwise, the software will complain at you, and it will be buggy in game if you do. So like, we have all these house colors. All of these will be turned into the player colors, in game. Anyway, that's the important bit. There's also chassis, but you don't really need to define chassis. It's just really just there. This is just the rest of the model. This is a very stripped down model. It doesn't include a lot of the smaller details. The like where smoke comes out whenever the vehicle is damaged. This does not even have damage states. This vehicle does not have damage states. So like whenever the vehicle takes takes like around 50% damage, 75% damage, it will not change form. It will only, the only notifying thing is that the vehicle is running a bit slower because locomotors have this thing about being damaged. The unit owning them being damaged. So you can do that on your own, but this is just a thing I made really quick for demonstration purposes. Anyway, that's the model itself. Now we move on to, I guess, like decoding. Well, there's a couple more things in terms of the assets. This is how it looks like when you view it in Final Big. This is how it looks like when you have the textures and you have the model. It will just render it here. It's a nice view, I guess. And then like, for completion's sake, I'm gonna include command buttons for this thing. So I will have a texture for the button. If I can find it, because it's not sorted regularly. This one, I just basically just made a render of the model and just put some style on it. Anyway, moving on. So now let's get into the coding. So okay, going back to our initial discussion about when you are making a new unit for your mod, you think of a thing that you is there a thing in vanilla General 0 Hour that will reflect closely the thing I want to make for my mod? So okay, since I'm making a tank, I'm just gonna make a tank. Let's go copy a regular tank. Let's go to, I guess, like, since it's a Chinese vehicle, let's just copy the Battlemaster. China, so you can just China tank Battlemaster. Just Battlemaster. Hold on. It's not here anymore. Oh yeah, because these are this is if you notice, this is Giant Robot Editions files. Yeah, it's one of my mods, and I guess I use this. So I'm just gonna Control F, find this. Control F, find this. Here, China Tank Battle Master. It currently has those things. We're gonna go through. We're gonna go through the common bits of this. Just the important bits here. We're gonna. We're just gonna copy that, and then like let's bring up Notepad++. So first bit is that you know we need a unique object name. So like let's just say China object China. Well, I guess let's just say Revenger MBT. It could be just any name really. For this one, for this bit right here, these are mapped buttons, mapped images. So we go to map images. If I could map images. Go to map images, handmade images, hand created images, and then like we just scroll down. We copy one of the entries here. For now, let's just keep everything in one text file, in one file. BTN Revenger. BTN Revenger, and our texture name, which is RVNGR. .tga, and texture with this. This is in pixels. This is in pixels. And where is it in the image? It's the whole image. So we're just gonna do this. It's the whole image. That's it. This is our button, which also doubles as our portrait because it's double the size of an actual button. So it should be fine. It's just gonna look squished, but nobody's gonna notice that. No one's gonna point it out. It's only just me. Anyway, these are our first bit here is the upgrade cameos. These are just basically indicators of what upgrades it can get, but not necessarily upgrades it can get. Like it just basically images on the side of the unit's portrait, and that oh, this unit can gain nationalism. Oh, this unit can gain, but it's not. But it needs to have a corresponding upgrade module for it in order for it to have an effect. But if it doesn't have it, then this is just purely visual. It's not gonna affect anything. This is not too important right now. Let's just have it have nationalism. It benefits from nationalism, and then like since we copied this from a tank, we already have most of the thing here. Default condition state. So in terms of like module tags, module list, there is going to be a link for it on the description and the playlist. In terms of the mostly complete documentation for everything here, what parameters you can have here, but all you need to know are the important things here. Okay to change model color. It's basically saying that you can the player house colors will work. if you set this to no, then the player house colors will not work. It will the house color sub objects will not be colored to your team. But if you have this, then it'll pick up on the house color sub objects and will color it to your team. Now, default condition state. This is a condition state for your model that is just the catch-all for all of the conditions your model would have if it wasn't defined. So like, there's many different condition states ranging from damaged, really damaged, using weapon A, using weapon B. But there's a lot of things you can explore with that. If your weapon, and especially if your unit has animations. This vehicle doesn't exactly have animations. It only has a turret, so we don't really need to animate it. So we only need this one condition state, and then like maybe if you have damaged states for this model, then you can add more condition states so that you swap out the model for a damaged model and then a really damaged model, all that jazz. But default condition state, you only whatever is not defined on any other condition state, default condition state will effectively supply those missing parameters. Anyway, how we and this is the model name, which is going to be, we'll refer to it over here. I think it was NVR. Here. So that's NVR, VNGR. That's it. And then like turret 01. If you look at our model, it is turret 01. And then like weapon A for a recoil firing gun, and then like weapon B for our secondary weapon. You have to indicate secondary weapon, and then primary. Fire effects bone is basically where the effects come from. Where the effects come from, where the effects list would originate from when the weapon is fired, and this is the recoil bone. The barrel will recoil. Launch bone, where the weapon is, where the projectile is spawned. Now there's another one here, weapon muzzle flash, but that's if you have a muzzle flash sub object on your unit. Mine doesn't. Anyway, this one is turret pitch. This is what determines the turret move, aiming up and down. This is the turret elevation. And then, generic tank tracks or something like that. Anyway, I don't have like a unique string for this, but this is where you can put a unique string on it. Basically, this is the tooltip. When you hover over the unit, it tells you what unit it is. That's what it is. It does. What side it belongs. Sorting for the editor. Whenever you're looking at this at the map editor, this is what it looks for. And then we have our weapon sets here. It has two weapon sets currently because the original unit we based it off had a different weapon set. This only has one weapon set, so we're gonna remove that. And we'll just have the weapon set here. Conditions is basically what determines what kind of weapons it has at the time. If this unit has a upgrade, then you have to indicate player upgrade. If this is a GLA vehicle, then there's crate upgrades if you want to. If you want to have this unit but the unit needs to be a salvager kind of. You have to add salvager here in order to benefit from crate upgrades. So weapon set. Let's make a weapon set for this. Let's make a weapon set for this. For now, we'll keep every piece of code we have in the single file, and then like we'll put them in the appropriate INI files afterwards. Anyway, weapon INI, MK2 tank, tank weapon, 2, 3 MK2. So we already made this weapon. I'm just gonna use it. Since we already made this weapon, I'm just gonna use it. So, but the basic gist of it that we just define all the stats right here, and we could just, since we already defined that weapon, we could just just slap it on here. And then for its secondary, I don't know exactly. Let's give it the quad. MK2 quad, I think. No, explosive, MK1 quad explosive, MK1 quad explosive air. Yeah, let's go. So yeah, these are weapons from Giant Robot Edition, and it's just gonna use those. It's just gonna use those, and so that we don't have to define additional weapons. But like here, that's it. And then there's a lot of other things here, like tank armor. We gotta define a unique armor separate, and then go do that. Build cost, build time. Let's make this a bit expensive because it's kind of both an all-rounder kind of unit, a bit longer to build. I guess like we can have a lot of things here. Giant object war factor. That means we need a war factor to build this. If we want a secondary object for it to be built with, so we have object, say China propaganda center. And then like another bit is that if you input a space in another object, like say China airfield, then if you have this, that means now we just need just need a China war factory, and a China propaganda center or a China airfield. This is basically an or when you do this. So other things you can put here is you can put it as science. You can put this as science. So you can have a science requirement like science marauder tank. You can have that. You just need to look up the science names on the science.ini. But we're gonna keep it simple. Let's just have it built off the war factory. The moment you have a war factory, and these are experience values. When it's a regular, veteran, elite, heroic, and then like required XP to earn these ranks themselves. You can define this on your own time. And then is it trainable? Does it gain experience? Trainable means does it gain experience? Pretty simple. Crusher level is just what can it crush? What can it crush? Basically, this is what it can crush. Crushable level, what can crush it? Crushable level is what can crush it. And basically, it will just compare this. So, like, say an overlord. Overlord crush. The overlord has a crush level of 3. The overlord has a crush level of 3, so it compares it to the crushable level of this unit, and if it's bigger, it crushes that unit. And then this is just generic command set for the Battlemaster. Yada yada yada. Audio. These are the audio parameters. These are the voice lines, and any specific unit sounds like the turret moving. We're the priority unit. That means it appears as a unit on the radar. You can change this. I forget the exact parameters you can have for this, but you can change this so that it doesn't appear on the map. I don't know why you want to do that, but like you can. And then we have a bunch of kind ofs. These are really hard to explain because a lot of them don't do a lot. But important bits is it's selectable. It can attack. Their attack needs a line of sight. That means they can't just shoot through walls. This typically is absent on artillery because they need to shoot. They typically shoot over walls anyway, so they don't need a direct line of sight. Can cast reflections. This doesn't do a lot, I believe. It's a vehicle. The game identifies as a vehicle. The AI knows it's a vehicle. This is really just for target acquisition, stuff like that, and it gives score. The unit gives score on the scoreboard. Basically, it gives a tally on the whenever you have the stats screen on. And then you have your health values, your initial health. You can have a smaller initial health. You can just be wacky with this, but And then there's subdual damage. Subdual damage is what is applicable to when the unit is under attack by a subdual weapon, which for vehicles that is going to be an ECM tank. ECM tank does subdual vehicle. Microwave tanks does subdual structure. And basically, what happens is that it doesn't damage the unit directly, but it will keep applying subdual damage. What that means is that if it accumulates enough subdual damage to bypass the max health, the unit becomes stunned. And these are just the subdual unit, subdual damage properties in that the unit that is doing the subdual damage can stack up to 800 damage onto this unit, so you can change this value. And the heal rate is in milliseconds, and this is the amount. Whenever subdual damage has stopped being applied to that unit, the subdual damage will go away every half a second, 50 damage a pop. And when the subdual damage goes below the max health, the unit is freed from the stun. Anyway, AI update interface is a very important module tag because it defines your weapons and how it uses them. Auto acquire enemies when idle. This is basically the aggression bit. Turning rate. You define your turrets here. If your unit has 2 turrets, you may have an additional thing here for alt turret, but that's also another thing you have to define on your model. And then control weapon slots. What weapon slots does the turret control? It's primary, secondary. You can omit one of these if you have a secondary weapon that does not rely on the primary turret. And allows pitch basically just makes it that basically allows it to aim up and down. An important bit here is that there's an order. These locomotors, the order of these locomotors matter. The locomotor must always be after an AI update interface. It can be, but they can be anywhere actually. These can be anywhere so long as it's after an AI update interface. Otherwise, the game crashes. Doesn't know what to do with the locomotor. But this needs to be below this import order. Horde update. That's just the horde thing for the Chinese units. Physics behavior. You can play with this and that. Basically, how well does it react to being flung? Or how heavy it is when it falls over a cliff or something. And then firewall. This is just the nuclear tanks upgrade. Does it explode when you do that? Yeah. But this the locomotor set upgrade. You notice that I deleted the secondary locomotor because with nuclear attacks, these vehicles travel faster, but they don't benefit from that anymore. I removed it, so I'm gonna remove this. Vehicle just go boom. This is just me being lazy and instant death behavior. When unit dies, it just explodes in a bomb truck explosion. You can be more creative than this by having like hulks. You can have OCLs. You can have death weapons. When the unit dies, it explodes in nuclear explosion. You can do that, but and you can also have like death types here. If the unit dies a specific way, it's on the weapons in themselves really. If I can find it. Here. So yeah, death type normal. That means if the unit dies normally when struck by this weapon. Let's find another thing. These are all small arms. Poison beta here. It doesn't exactly like say that the unit will die in a poison beta state. It's just that if it has a poison beta state, then it will do that. Anyway, and then you know, we just have other things here just for detail and flair. This does not benefit from either of these upgrades, so I'm gonna remove those. And these are just some geometry stuff. You can just tweak these to your liking. These have something to do with collision. So you have to take into the size of your model into account for this one. It uses Gmax's measurements as far as I know. So like, I guess when we got to Gmax, we view the model, and the grid here is oriented to 10 units. So if we were to make a precise collision for this, the radius with this be is at 15. This is gonna be 15. 15 on the major side, and then like 10 on the minor side. And then if we're gonna be height, we'll go for height, and then this is just 10. This is gonna be height 10. So yeah, so I get major height would be this way 15, minor radius is 10. This is a rectangle. We're defining a rectangle, and this is the height is just 10. That's it, and that's it. That's all of this unit. That's all of this unit. Now we just need to insert them into the game code, into the INI files. Insert these into the INI files, and oh, before that actually, before this actually, we need to do the command buttons if we want to be able to build these units. So here, let's go to command button and Battle Master. So we're gonna copy this. We're gonna copy this, and we're just about ready to. We're almost just about ready to take. Insert all of this into the game. Yeah, okay. Give it a unique name. Command build Revenger, and then Revenger NDT. These are string definitions. We're not gonna make new string definitions because that is a thing and a half. But like BTN Revenger. And and then we need to modify a command set. We need to modify a command set. Since the Chinese command sets have two command sets, one when they're upgraded, but like for the sake of just example, we're just gonna take one of the command sets. So you know it's gonna go away the moment we upgrade mines, but like this is just for demonstration purposes. We don't have to modify this because I'm just gonna edit this. Command build Revenger. There we go. And that's about it. Now all we gotta do is insert this into this map images hand created. Just insert it here and then like this into the command button .ini. This is into command set .ini. But since I'm just replacing this wholesale, I don't need to copy everything. I just need to just copy this one line here. But like, if it's an entirely new command set, then that's also a thing. And then like insert this into like a object ini file. Yeah. We'll see that in game, and we'll see this in game. So here we are in game. And here's our new unit. Yeah, there's no new string for it.
Our particle cannon is ready. Our nuclear machine is ready for right here. Yes, General. China needs us there. China's tech division. Serving China's needs. Yes, General. Battle Master Tech reporting.
Yeah, this is the unit.
China's tech division.
Let's test its anti-air capabilities.
What do you have in mind? China's tech division. Let's hold these guns. Take it over there now. Where is the battle? Serving China's needs. Where is the battle? Crush the enemy. China's tech division.
Yeah, it can do that. Sure can do that.
China's tech division.
Yeah, that's how you make a unit.
Defend this territory. China's tech division. They will proceed. Warrior, yes, General. Where is the battle? Battle Master Tech. China needs us there. We will defend this territory. China needs us there. We will defend this territory. We will defend this territory. We will defend this territory. Moving to new area. Yes, General. We will defend this territory. Carrying out orders. We will defend this territory. Move on the control. Use our scans to area. I have China's landing.
Yep, pretty much. And that's the unit tutorial. If you have any more questions, if you want like specific unit to like make, well actually I have a couple of examples actually. If for more complex units, Please hold. So, this is effectively the peak of our making units, anyways. So this is a what is it? It's a command center to make dozers.
New construction. Yeah. Hold up. Want to make some improvements? Any more projects? Have a job for me?
That's a bit of a bug, but like and it has weapons. It's a bit glitchy because like there has been some changes to this. But in any case,
Upgrade.
What's the story?
yeah, this is effectively a very complex unit, and I don't expect anyone to know how to do this. But hey, that's a thing.